West, hello Weymouth. I'm afraid I can't claim an affiliation with either. I'm a Norfolk man, and that's the way it goes. What have we got up there? I should have an introductory slide up there now. It's up to me to get it there, is it? Yes. Right, there we are. So, what I'm just going to quickly run through in the 15 minutes, I want to talk about Gerard Batten's idea, our version of Brexit, repeal the ECA now. He's then said to the various he then said to the various spokesmen, please give me the 5 laws you would want to repeal as quickly as possible to try and get your own sector going smoothly. So, and then I want to talk about avian flu, and then there'll be a little light-hearted moment right at the end. So, the first law we would like to repeal, and so that's the subject, the ban on live exports for slaughter. That explains the legal side of it, and that on the right-hand side explains what will happen. As you know, because of the single market rules, we cannot ban the live export of animals for slaughter. Now, it's one thing if these animals are just going to go from Dover across to a slaughterhouse in Belgium, but it's quite different if that slaughterhouse is actually simply a depot for them to go on in one hit to the south of Greece, and that does happen, so we can't control it. We can repeal this law, and we can stop this. This would be a very popular policy, I can promise you it would be. The next one, this is rather technical. When up until the Single European Act, which was in the mid-1980s, we decided on the quality of our water. And we had decided that 100 milligrams of nitrate per litre of water, that was a safe maximum. Above that, you started getting something called blue baby syndrome and other problems of too much nitrate in water. The EU took responsibility for this, took the power away from us. They halved that to 50, which for the eastern side of this country is an impossible target to achieve. Impossible. If we were to achieve it, we would have to abandon half the arable land in the eastern counties and have it ungrazed set aside. So we need some common sense in this. The old British law was perfectly adequate. We need to get science involved here so that we don't have this criminal prosecution hanging over our heads, which we do at the moment. The next one, this is all about labelling. You may or you may not know that the EU decides what can be put on a food label. And this really does irritate dairy farmers, particularly in this part of the world, where they see Irish milk being sold and the consumers believing that it was British. Because the EU do not allow you to jingoistically label food, for want of a better term. Well, once we're out of the EU, we can decide how we want to label our food, and consumers have strong ideas on this, and so they should. This should be consumer-led, and also producers should be able to say, this is good because it's British, and it really is British. It wasn't just packed here, it was actually produced here. So that, again, will find a lot of favour. The next one, this basic payment scheme, I think there's a conspiracy going on. There are 4.5% of farmers waiting for their 2016 basic payment. Guess who one of them is? This CAP might have been a nice idea in the very early days, but it very quickly became a nasty idea after about 1984. It now has to cater for 28 countries that vary from some are in Cyprus with somebody following a bullock with a wooden plough, to somebody in the north of the Arctic Circle in Finland with reindeer. You can't do it, so we can completely retake control of this, have our own scheme to support farmers, but we would need to repeal that one in the middle there. And the fifth one, vet resurgence in abattoirs. This was a result of mistranslation. Now, we used to have a meat inspection system, and there was a profession of people called meat inspectors. And they went into abattoirs, and they were there the whole time, and they were looking at the meat that was coming from those abattoirs, making sure there were no problems with it. Well, when we handed away the power of food safety to the European Union, they said a veterinarian must be in the abattoir. That apparently means food safety inspector in French. In English, we thought it meant veterinary surgeon. And so all those excellent individuals who really knew their job looking at meat, understanding where the problems were, they had to go, and they were replaced by Spanish vets, because a British vet is not going to spend 7 years in training to look after sick animals, only to stand in an abattoir watching meat being cut up. They're not going to do it. But young Spanish vets, well, because of this term equivalence, where we have to agree that somebody who had a much poorer veterinary education is the same equivalent of a British vet, they came here and they played little Hitler in the abattoirs and made life difficult for everybody. So that's those 5. Now I want to talk about avian flu because it is it's very prevalent, quite literally at the moment. Every year there's a threat of this. Colder weather will bring it in. It mainly comes from the ghastly frozen wastes of central northern Asia. I don't know how anything survives there. But birds migrate from there with this flu, and they give it to our wild birds and our domestic poultry here. The strains vary in their intensity. In 2006, it was actually something that hurt humans. This one is really, what's the word? Horrific. But it doesn't hurt humans, but by God, it does affect poultry. And I want to just talk you through now what can happen to Mr. Jones, poultry producer, who's farming away happily, tied to a supermarket, knows that if he does his job really well, he'll earn a crust. And he notices that his productivity is going down a bit, mortality is going up a bit. This can happen for various reasons. So he calls his local vet in, and he says, I don't know what's going on here. The vet has a look and thinks, I think I might know, and says, I suspect avian flu. I'm going to bring a ministry vet in here. And whatever time of the day or day of the week, the ministry vets will come out very, very quickly. They will take swabs and samples, they will take them away. And it takes about 24 to 36 hours for them to decide if it's avian flu or if it isn't. If it is avian flu, you suddenly become, in red there, an IP, infected premises, and your life changes forever. Now, the first thing that happens, it doesn't seem too bad. You're told you can't go here, you can't go there, your birds will all be culled, and those that are culled you will get some compensation for, and the ministry will organise all the culling. Well, there was a turkey unit in Lincolnshire, the next door county to me, 6,000 birds. Called in the vet, went through this process. The ministry cullers turned up only 3 days later, and how many birds were left alive to cull? Just 12 out of 6,000. That is how quickly this thing is going through our poultry. It is devastating. But it doesn't stop there, because they then clean your building out. Well, you as taxpayers pay for that. You might think, well, that's all right. As far as the ministry are concerned, your unit will not infect anybody else's. The big problem for you is if you want to restock that unit again. And that is where the problems really start. I have 35,000 free-range layers. If I had to go to the lengths to do this secondary cleansing and disinfection, it would cost me £250,000, which I haven't got. But even if I was able to borrow that against assets, all that would guarantee me was the opportunity to get the same problem the following year. So it really is bad news. And those who get it are left absolutely stunned, and it can happen to anybody. I hoped we could get an industry scheme going, like the sugar beet scheme. Rhizomania was a disease in sugar beet. Farmers who got that would go through a similar thing to what I've been talking about. They would be, well, ruined really. But the sugar beet industry got together because it was only the sugar beet factory, British Sugar on the one hand, the NFU on the other, who negotiated for the growers. They quickly came to the conclusion, take 7 pence a tonne off every grower as a fund, and anyone who gets rhizomania will be compensated out of that fund, and the industry will bear the cost. Poultry is far more difficult. We have any number of buyers, supermarkets, not the one monopoly processor, and there are all the different sorts of poultry enterprises, and there are always the arguments, the rows about who is actually more likely to get avian flu, and of course the free-range people with their birds going outside, contact with wild birds, are more likely to get it. So the industry was unable to get an industry scheme together, and if I was able to become Minister of Agriculture, I would certainly try and get some wheels underneath that, because it's so devastating for these who get this avian flu. And of course, if they do nothing, you don't have to spend this money. What it does is put you out of the industry. It also means that the country's technically got avian flu for the next 6 months or so, which means there are no exports, etc., etc. Now, what could could we do about this? People say, what about vaccination? What about vaccination? Yes, vaccination is a possibility. However, there are so many different strains of this disease, and you don't know which one you've got until these wild birds arrive with it. And in any case, the vaccines take a long time to develop. They have to go through the whole of them, because they're being given to animals that are going to be consumed by humans. They have to go through a very lengthy testing process, and even if they get through all that, you then have to administer these to adult birds. Normally vaccinations are either what we call misted, when the birds are asleep at night. You go around with an LED and you knapsack spray the vaccine over. You can't do that with these flu ones. You have to pick up, in my case, every one of 35,000 birds, give it a jab and put it down again and try and remember which ones you've done. It's just not practical. It just isn't practical. So we can forget about vaccination. However, and I know one person here is going to see rage, there is another alternative. Hold on to your chairs, chaps. The deadly, deadly 2 letters. What's happened to that slide? There we are, that one. All right. What has been going on here? British scientists who for years have led the way in agricultural development and taking us forward have managed to breed a chicken that, while it will get the avian flu, what has been bred out of it is the ability to pass it on. So it gets it, it dies. That means that the virus is satisfied, but it's not being resisted. The trouble is with any sort of vaccination, or you try and breed birds that are resistant to things, you automatically get the enemy to mutate, and you just go back to square one the whole time. The beauty of this is that the animal does get it, but it doesn't pass it on. This will give us a sporting chance. Now, it may well end up that we will have to keep our birds in forever and a day. Mine are in at the moment, and I may suffer a price drop. This avian flu is a huge problem. I want to be radical in UKIP. I want to back our British scientists. I don't like this childish, as I see it, opposition to a technology that's doing so well in medicine, it's keeping people alive, and people say, no, it doesn't matter how good your idea is, if it involves those 2 letters, it's got to die. Right, got that over. Now for something a little bit lighter. Now, after the referendum last year, that's my village street in Hellhoughton in North Norfolk. And this was a Ramona, quite literally a Ramona. He got a professional artist to paint that mural on his gable end. And if you look at it closely, you'll see that one of the stars has been replaced by a teardrop. He was so unhappy about it all. And this became news in the local papers. And of course, there's me, UKIP MEP, living in the village. And the press said, well, you must be outraged, Mr. Agnew, you must be absolutely outraged. I said, no, every time I drive past that, I'm reminded of my success. I don't mind the least. All he's doing, he's expressing his view. There's nothing particularly distasteful or offensive about it. It's been done professionally. I don't care at all. Anyway, North Norfolk District Council got involved, and they said, that is advertising. So, you need planning permission, therefore, you have got to change it. So that's what we've got. Because that was the end. I know the conference is very short of time. I'm going to give you 1 minute and 32 seconds free time, Chairman. Thank you very much.